What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Alex Cuesta Show. How's everybody doing out there on this Wednesday, December 28th of 2022? It is almost 2023. I hope everybody had a good Christmas holiday, whether you celebrate or not. You had off. More than likely, even people that don't celebrate usually get to spend some good time with their family. So I hope that everyone had a good holiday. And David, hi. You were up here for part of it.
Hi, yes, I was. It was a good time. It was a very good time. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah, well, I think everyone, we all had a good time here and it was fun. It's always good to, get together with the family and just hang out. Enjoy the kids. Like we had my little two kids running around, spoiled as all hell, Dave. I still have so many freaking boxes in my office right now. I can't possibly break them down in like the amount of time. It is awful. But before we get into anything fun, like, share, follow, subscribe, rate 5 stars on Spotify and iTunes. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on the socials at The Alex Cuesta Show. And before we jump into our show today, unfortunately, we don't have a guest. We had a guest lined up. They had to cancel. They had some family stuff going on. So here at Alex Cuesta Show, family always comes first. I will never stop anybody if they have something to go take care of. This is just a freaking podcast. Go take care of your family. So
Ohana means family.
Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind. I just watched Lilo and Stitch today with my kids.
Did you really?
Fantastic. Yeah, they just played it. But yeah, so they will be on at some point, and we're excited when they do come on. But yeah, family comes first. But speaking of guests, last week we had Harrison Kronk on, conservative Twitter personality. It was a hell of a show. We had lots of fun talking about the Twitter files, talking about the Zelensky speech, and then talking about Community Notes or Birdwatch when it was first found, which is where, community gets involved and does things. And really cool program. If you want to know more about it, go listen to the episode because Harrison's one of the beta testers of it. So he gives us a lot of good information there. So we had a great show. It was lots of fun. Dave, we also have a good show, and me and you haven't just done a show together in a long time. We've had a lot of guests, so it's nice every once in a while.
You don't like talking to me, that's why.
No, your voice kind of annoys me.
That's fair. That's very fair.
No, but it's like it's hard when we're rolling with good guests and stuff. It's hard to just sit there and try and subject people to just me and you. Like that's actually torture and painful.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes I look at my camera and I wonder if I'm too close. No one's seeing this, but I'm seeing it, and it's slightly bothering me. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, in comparison, but then like if someone was looking at me on camera, like you could see like my moves and everything. Like I have become a slob. Maybe because I slouch. Maybe if I sit up a little bit more. Nope, moves are still present. So yeah, no, not great. Not great. Good visual for everyone out there. I'm happy that you guys can all enjoy this and embrace this with us. But yeah, no, I think you're a little too close, Dave. You kind of look like the head from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you can,
I don't know if I'm zoom it out too much, though.
It is what it is. You could just, live your life, Dave. No one's looking at you. We're not doing video yet. Maybe one day. Maybe one day we'll bring the video back, and then you'll have to readjust so you don't look like...
I'll have to care a little more.
Yes. You'll have to actually not hang things crooked, which would be ideal. But anyway...
Not staying crooked.
Let's jump into the show. We have a good one going. We're going to talk some Brooklyn Nets. We're going to talk some Jets. We're going to talk some DC Marvel stuff. Let's start off, Dave, with our Brooklyn Nets. 9 straight wins coming into this episode. They're playing tonight against the Hawks. They have a lead. They won 13 of their last 14. They've skyrocketed up to third place. They've just recently beat the Cavs, beat the Bucks. They're playing really good basketball. And this is coming, Dave, after I think everyone, including us, were a little bit annoyed. We all thought this team was left for dead this offseason. Kyrie put the video out there, shared his opinion. He's been labeled an anti-Semitic. That, winning makes everything go away. That's only mentioned in jest now, right? KD requested the trade. Steve Nash is awful. We found out Steve Nash is actually the worst coach of all time. And they have some good things going now, Dave. It's been crazy from this offseason, from what we talked about early in the year to now. Could you have predicted that the Nets would turn it around and look like the best team in the league right now?
Not in this way. I could have seen it because they have the talent, obviously, Justin, KD, and Kyrie, but not this soon. You could have seen it maybe later on in the season, but just this soon having it clicking already is good. is really good, especially for a team that has a lot to live up to and it hasn't really lived up to it yet. Now, who's to say a singular toe of KD, maybe they do live up to it, but they haven't yet. So that's reality. So, but finding them here in this winning streak, like you said, 13 of the last 14 is great news. And admittedly, I haven't watched a ton because I'm a bad person. I've been a bad boy. But I mean, I throw it on every now and then. I should throw it on more because I should be a better fan.
I'll say
things
this.
on the TV is an issue for me.
I'll say this. So I don't get it on my YouTube TV. So I have to rely on the Yes app. The Yes app is the worst thing ever created. They suck. Yes, if you're ever listening, Dave, you'll watch it and all of a sudden it'll skip back like 5 minutes. Go backwards 5 minutes. Or it'll just randomly freeze. So then you have to reset it. But no. You can't just reset it and go back. They have to play a commercial. So now you're also missing what you watched. The Yes app is terrible. And you know when it happens too, what's the worst? It'll be like the last 3 minutes of the freaking game in a close game. And all of a sudden, it'll stop working. And it's like,
that's awful.
Kyrie has the ball on on a string and he's crossing someone up. And then all of a sudden, gone. And it's like, or I'll watch like the post game because I want to see the interviews and it'll be mid interview. And all of a sudden it'll go back to like the beginning of the post game. I'm like, I'm done. Don't care about the interviews anymore.
Exactly.
I don't care. So yeah, the Yes app is terrible, but everything you said is true. The clicking right now, a lot of credit goes to Jacques Vaughn. Admittedly, I did not want Jacques Vaughn. I did not think Jacques Vaughn was a good coach. I wasn't a fan of his defensive scheme. The Nets are the only team to ever have a defensive coordinator in freaking basketball. But I did not think he was good. I didn't like his defensive sets. I didn't think it was going to translate. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons have all bought in to this man. They like his message. He holds them accountable. You see it. You see it on the floor. He holds them accountable, something Steve Nash was afraid to do. I remember the other day, they've been doing much better in rebounding lately. They were even with the Bucks. I think they were damn close to even or beat out the Cavs. And right now in this Hawks game, they have 44 rebounds to the Hawks 39. Now, this is a Hawks with John Collins, with Okongwu. I can't say his name, Okongwu. They have some good people on this team, on the Hawks. They're not the most prolific rebounders, but everyone out-rebounded the Nets. I was watching the post game, and they flat out said what Jacques Vaughn did is he took everybody's box out percentage, their box out success percentage, brought it in on practice one day and showed everyone where they were.
Yeah, exactly. What the fuck? What is
bad
wrong
they
with
were.
you? Yeah.
And they asked Kyrie, where were you? And he was like, it was bad. It was low. And that's the kind of thing that good coaches do, though. And I give Jacques Vaughn credit. Yep. A good coach comes in and says, we can talk all of our shit about team rebounding. We can talk about this, but here's the proof. We're bad. Anyone down here needs to get up there. And apparently TJ Warren was skyrocketing ahead of everybody with his box out percentage. But those type of things matter, and everyone's buying in. And it's lots of fun, Dave. It is fun to watch. They're never out of a game, and you need to start watching.
Yes, I know. Like I said, I've been bad. I've been terrible. But that's the thing, is that Vaughn is, because a lot of rebounding, a lot of defense is effort. It's what a lot of it is, just genuine effort and the will to do it.
Yep.
And that is what Vaughn is basically showing them. Like, you haven't given the effort that you think you've given for what you're supposed to do on the floor. You may have done it on the offensive side in some way, but you're not getting into the nitty gritty that wins the games. Like, that really helps you and makes it a lot easier to win these games.
Yeah.
And that's, like you said, what a good coach is supposed to do. When you have a weakness that maybe you're even overlooking, he shows you it and says, this is what you need to work on. Like, you are good at this already, but you have this to work on. So get it done and we can be better. Because most athletes, there's a very small percentage, want to do better. They want to be better and they want to be as great as they can be. There's a very small percentage that really just don't care. So I hate when it gets thrown around a lot of times, like, oh, this guy doesn't care, he has this. And it's like, you gotta need a lot of evidence for that.
The competitive drive of an athlete is real.
Exactly, because you're putting in your life into this. So usually the competitive drive is there. You want a reward from this. You want recognition from this. So you want to be better. And just showing where these guys can be better is helpful in and of itself. And that's something that obviously Nash just didn't do for whatever reason. I have no idea. But Vaughn is clicking into it. He's doing well right now, and I hope he can sustain this in some way. I don't think it'll be a crazy win streak, but as long as you could be consistently winning more than you're losing, that helps.
And, and it took a lot. It's the superstars bought in, right? Like, that's basketball. If your superstars can buy into whatever you're selling, then you're in good shape. So KD and Kai are bought in. Ben Simmons, who, I wasn't a fan of Ben Simmons. I made it very well known. I didn't like him at LSU. I didn't think he was great over, for the Sixers. I thought he played well. I just always thought he was a fraud. He's bought in. He's not shooting. He's getting into the layups. He's going into the dunker spot.
Just fine.
But he's so much. But you know what, though? He's a catalyst. When he's on the floor, he really plays that elite defense, and his defense is getting better and better. They were between him, TJ Warren, Nick Claxton. They were able to wear down Giannis Antetokounmpo a few games ago and really make it hard for Giannis to do things easily, which one of the issues with playing the Bucks when before was KD was on Giannis and no one could guard him. He would just walk up the floor and dunk on the Nets, and it was easy. Not easy anymore. Ben's coming into his own, and with him running the offense, it takes so much off of. I see a different Kyrie Irving. KD's KD. KD's going to do his thing, but I see a different Kyrie Irving. I see a Kyrie Irving where he's not running the offense. He's not worried about that anymore. So the effort on defense is much higher because he's not worried about being tired, about having to think about that. And now he picks his spots. When he needs to take over, he takes over. Like, he had a really down game going into the fourth quarter 2 games ago, finished with like 25, had 14 in the fourth. He just closes games out now. He has a good one, and it's a different team. It's fun. Maybe it's sustainable. We'll find out. But right now, they're the best team in basketball, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's all you can ask for right now as a Nets fan. It's all you can ask for.
After this offseason? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it looked like it was all coming down. We were the laughing stock of sports. Quite literally, the Nets were the laughing stock of sports this offseason. And for it to turn around like this, man, it feels good. Speaking of turnarounds, Dave, we need one in Jets world. We're getting a taste right now. We're all very hopeful. But it's been bad. We've been on a 5-game slide. We go from 7-2 to 7-8 now, or whatever it was, 7-3 to 7-8,
6-3, really.
Well, yeah, whatever it was. It hasn't been good. Zach Wilson is officially done. There's nothing else you could do. But we get the return of Mike fucking White, man. He's back. He's playing, and Jesus, I hope he can handle the pressure. He has the whole weight of half the city of New York and part of New Jersey on his back to go out and win the next 2 games and give the Jets a chance to get to the playoffs as long as the Patriots lose. Is it fair to ask a 5th-round journeyman who was the 3rd string and inactive for 7 games this year, 8 games this year, is it fair to put all this pressure on Mike White?
I'm sorry. I'm not asking that guy to do it. I'm asking a Hall of Famer to do it. I'm asking someone that is actually actively in the Hall of Fame to do it. So he has shown that he has the balls to put throws where they need to be, especially in crunch time situations. And him coming back, he's probably going to be affected. I mean, his ribs are probably not fully healed. Most likely going to be wearing some sort of flak jacket. But I have trust in him over everyone else that we have. And I do have trust in him to go and score points. I don't think we've been under 400 yards anytime he's really touched the field on offense. So
I think maybe like very little, like 395, but like still good.
Yeah. So I have no reason to not believe that the offense can at least move the ball and at least give our defense time to actually get a breather and play well. And we can, maybe have them start on their side of the field, a good distance on their side of the field. So I don't know. I do trust in Mike White a lot to pull us through this, especially with the defense we have, especially because this is almost a storybook kind of way to do it now. It could all come crashing down as we lose by 21 to Seattle. But A lot of it seems to be coming together at the most chance time possible. And I know we need the Pats to lose, but honestly, Mac Jones isn't very good. And he likes to do some questionable things on the field.
Yeah.
But like the Patriots are all defense.
Mm-hmm.
They really are actually kind of similar to us, except Mac is just a bit better than Zach Wilson. Like he can complete a pass, but that's it. It's not that much different than us. So I can see them losing even with Teddy B starting in Miami, because it's not like he's terrible.
No,
He's
Teddy's
very
certainly good enough to
serviceable.
win football games.
Exactly.
Especially throwing to Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Exactly.
With Mostert running behind them, that's still the fastest team in the NFL offensively.
Exactly. And honestly, Seattle isn't a great team. Sure, Gino's been throwing it around, but they're not a great team.
No, they have a lot of holes.
So we can definitely beat them, and we can beat Miami as well. So I feel good with Mike White here. I feel very good, actually. And we'll see. If he can win these 2 games and we get to the playoffs, he could be playing himself into what is basically a starter role for next season, which would be yet again incredible to witness. But like I said, we haven't really had under 400 yards of total offense when he's playing for us. The one Bills game last year is all it was. That's his only like bad game.
Yeah.
So he has a lot behind him here. He has a good team. He knows it, and I think he'll be able to prove something. We'll at least beat Seattle, I feel.
And it looks like he's gotten significantly better.
Yeah.
Than he was last year. Last year, he was really a game manager. He really just, took what's underneath. He didn't really try to make many big throws. The one game where he did try to extend was the Buffalo game, and he paid for it. Yeah. He had a few bad bounces, and that's typical of what we've seen from Mike White. Mm-hmm. Guys aren't ready for where he puts it sometimes, which is pretty embarrassing. There's better talent this year, so they're catching it a lot more when he's putting it in tight spots.
Mm-hmm.
But, it looks like he's significantly made improvements. The tight windows he's throwing, he's making high-level throws. Yeah. Very difficult throws that very few quarterbacks even attempt in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So he has all sorts of confidence. His arm is a lot better than I think any of us thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a chance. What they do need to get figured out is the red zone, because the red zone's bad.
Yes.
And there's no reason for the red zone to be so bad. Now, part of it's on Mike LaFleur. We all say it. He gets too cute in the red zone. He runs too many gadget plays in the red zone.
One play in the series where he runs like a reverse or some weird gadget play, and it kind of ruins the series in the red zone.
And the thing is, in the red zone, you have to go to what is your strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our strength is, if the run game is working, which it hasn't been, but run the ball, right? It hasn't been working. So what's our next strength? Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson needs to get the ball in his hands.
Yep.
I don't care if it's on a slant and give him a chance to make it in, or a fade, which it looked like that was a blown play at one point where Mike White thought it was going to the corner and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But even Elijah Moore, Corey Davis is a big body down there.
Mm-hmm.
Our tight ends are athletic as all hell and are run after the catch machines.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like there's a reason to run these gadget plays down there.
Yep.
You CJ Uzomah, let him turn around and just get in front of somebody at the goal line and throw it where the defender isn't. Let Uzomah make a play.
Mm-hmm.
It's typical stuff that you see great quarterbacks do all the time. So it needs to get better there. I'm excited for what we're seeing now. I do have to say, part of me is going to want to see a 42-35 game, because I really have been cheering for Eugene. I really have.
It's fair.
I am so happy for the man. Ike Enkapali knocked him into a backup role for about 7 years. But you know what, though? For him to keep persevering, for him to keep working, for him to get the starting role away from Drew Lock, who they traded for, the role was Drew Lock's to lose.
Mm-hmm.
And Gino showed that he could still play, and then to show the exact pedigree that everyone thought he had. I just feel great for him. The kid, it didn't work out for the Jets. He still worked hard. It looks like Sam Darnold might be baiting some people in, but maybe that can stay, because Sam has looked much better as of late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping, the former Jets guys succeed. I'll root for them. I want Gino to lose. I want him to throw a few picks. I want the Jets to win, but I also want to see him still play well, because, I'm happy for Geno Smith. Now, what the hell's going on with Zach Wilson, Dave? What do the Jets do with Zach Wilson now. Do you trade the second round pick after 22 starts? Do you keep him on the roster next year just to keep him in street clothes? Like, because you're going to bring somebody in to back up Mike White because you don't want to leave the chance of Zach Wilson being that guy that has to walk back in a game. Mm-hmm. So, or do you cut him and take $11.5 million in dead cap? Like, what do you do here?
So Douglas is not in an enviable position with this one.
It looks bad. It looks really bad. This is the first big blemish on Joe Douglas's resume.
Well, the good thing is that he hit on so many other spots, especially in this draft, that, yeah, this is a blemish, but even when usually these QB draft picks go wrong, it usually doesn't turn out to be Ryan Leaf.
And really
it's usually just bad.
And I'll say there is some credit too for people forget. There was a time where James Morgan was also in the mix and battling with Mike White for a roster spot, just as the third QB. Mm-hmm. And Joe Douglas picked right there. So he does get some credit there where he got rid of James Morgan. I have no idea where the hell James Morgan is now, but he was a draft pick of a former regime. Mike White was brought in, and Mike White won that battle, but, you know, Joe Douglas could have went with the guy who was drafted. I think they drafted James Morgan in the 4th round. So we had a higher pedigree. Then I'll look it up, but it's credit to him there for, making a right decision there. Sorry, Dave, go ahead with what we do with Wilson now.
No, it's fine. And it's a very difficult thing to figure out what to do, because I don't think any team, especially where we are with Wilson, we have no leverage at all. So what are you going to get back for him if you're going to trade him? Like, what is on tape that they see that they would like enough to trade anything for him? Because I just don't know what you would get. And I don't think they just want to trade him for peanuts. I really don't think they want to do that. And it's also difficult to say whether or not they just want to cut him. So it's like I said, it's not an enviable position.
He got a good deal for a Blake Cashman, and Blake Cashman was hot garbage and he was injured.
Yeah, that's true. But still, no, like Douglas can work magic on these trades a lot. That is for certain. But I just don't know how it'll go for him with this if he does decide to trade Zach Wilson. Now, Saleh is saying all the nice things in conferences. I don't know how much of it is that he actually means, yet again, he benched him for Chris Streveler, who no one knows other than Jets fans.
I think Saleh genuinely likes the kid. So he does not want to go and throw him under the bus.
Exactly. No, that's the thing. He likes him. He just knows right now, at least right now, he definitely cannot play for this team.
And Zach Wilson knows it. Zach Wilson flat out said, I didn't play well enough. I was not helping my team.
Yeah.
Like, he was very mature in this last. I know he couldn't have been anything else.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing else to be, but credit to Zach Wilson in the press conference right after the game when it was stinging the most. He was mature. He handled it like a pro. And he flat out said, I was the problem. I was not doing the job. Guys were getting open. I was missing them. Credit to Zach there.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just been an issue all year. They all know it. Whatever the hell it is that's bugging him, because I don't care what anyone says, he was not this bad at BYU. That's just ridiculous to say he was. There were signs. There wasn't signs for Jamarcus Russell. I'm sorry to tell you this, but there just wasn't. There wasn't really there. So
there were signs for Zach. A lot of them, and I pointed them out.
It wasn't this crazy amount. Did you think he was going to be Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell? Be honest with me.
I thought that he was going to be able to work through some of it. Now, the Jets did have the plan bringing in Greg Knapp, and Greg Knapp ultimately passed away in a tragic accident. Greg Knapp was a QB whisperer, so their plan was to work with this kid who they knew was raw with great arm talent. And, but we did, Dave, there were signs, and people ignored them. Because of the arm talent.
There were signs, but yet again, were there signs that he would be one of the biggest busts in history?
Potentially.
Genuine.
High ceiling, low floor. He was a high ceiling, low floor guy.
Yeah, but you can't, don't. That I feel like that's a little bit of a bullshitting thing. Like, there were signs he wouldn't work out. There were signs he wouldn't work out, but I disagree with the argument there were signs he would
not one of the worst draft picks in the history of the NFL. No,
thank you.
No, I'm not going to say that.
That's all I'm saying.
But there were signs that he was possibly unfixable.
Yes, I can't say that those weren't there, but that's all I'm saying.
No, signs of a bust, full bust, signs of a bust, potentially? Yes. Signs of an all-time bad? No.
Yeah, that's
I'll give you
what
that.
I'm saying.
There were no
Yeah.
signs of an all-time bad, but there were signs of bailing on pockets. There were signs of the back foot throws, never planting his right foot and shifting his weight. Like those were all there, and not playing anybody, which was my biggest knock against him. And I argued with everybody. The kid didn't play anybody, and he really had one good season. His other 2 seasons were very pedestrian. So it's like, again, nothing against Zach. Nothing against any quarterbacks that haven't worked out for the Jets. I believe they all worked hard. They wanted to succeed, but also the kid came from Provo, Utah, to come and play in New York, New Jersey metropolitan area. Completely different thing.
Yeah,
His mom doesn't help him. She doesn't help him. Him banging his mom friends helped his moxie, didn't help him play football. So it's like, I don't know.
And that's the issue, is that, I mean, obviously it happened. Greg Knapp was absolutely tragic, but then we also brought in his personal QB coach to try to help in some way.
Which I've heard quarterbacks say is a terrible sign.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
You don't do that.
And we gave him as much talent as we could in an offseason to help him out. Look at what we gave him in the wide receiving core when we had Breece Hall. I mean, he really covered up for a lot of things, especially with AVT still there in the offensive line.
Yep.
So we gave him as much as we could. This isn't like past QBs where you could say we didn't give them a ton to really help them. Like, we didn't give them their Stephon Diggs. We didn't give them their certain wide receivers.
You don't know what they were because they didn't have any talent around them, type of deal.
Exactly. We gave him everything we could. So it feels like we have every right to either cut him or trade him. But what are you going to get for him? Is there anything you could get?
Give me a 7th rounder. Go away.
Listen, I'm kind of fine with that because he just needs to go somewhere else for the benefit of both us and him, I think.
So I'll point out something real quick that in a little bit of defense of Zach Wilson here, the Jets have mustered 47 yards on 22 rushes in the last 2 games.
Yeah, no,
I think it's negative yards after contact.
Yes,
because it was 0-1 game,
falling apart.
Awful in the run game. Pass game, they've been fair. They've been fair.
Okay.
Okay. Mike White covers up for a lot with his quick release, and Zach Wilson just sliding his feet every once in a while would help. But that's a give and take. The quarterback needs to help the offensive line too. So there's give and take there. But the run game's bad, Dave. Laken Tomlinson and Dwayne Brown look awful, and Connor McGovern looks bad by extension. I don't think Connor McGovern's playing as bad as he looks, but when you have a weak guard to your left side, and here's another thing, Dave. The strength of our run game was on the left for a long time.
Yep.
Because those two were mauling. LaFleur needs to adapt.
Yep.
We don't run the ball to the right through the tackles. Give Herbig and Fon a chance.
Yeah.
We need to stop running left. Left is a bad choice right now. Can they fix the run game? Like, those are, Dwayne Brown doesn't have a shoulder. He's playing tough. Laken Tomlinson has fucking lost it.
I have no idea what happened to him.
Is there a chance? Because if they don't fix this run game, Mike White could be as good as he wants. But if they could just sit there and play nickel dime all game and take away anything, I don't care who you are. Mike White's not going to be able to beat them if they can't have any threat of a run. Do you see any fixing this right now?
So I think there is a way to fix it. Like you said, we kind of do need to switch it up slightly and go to the right side between attack. At least give him something else to look at.
Yeah.
But honestly, it almost seems like we get a little more yardage when we run it out of the shotgun than when we do under center. Under center with a head full of steam, it just doesn't seem like the blocks ever come together enough.
No.
That they're always trapped in the backfield. For some reason, out of shotgun, it works a little bit better. I don't understand why, just the scheming wise, maybe the linemen like it more. I have no idea. But we just seem to garner at least a little more yardage out of shotgun. Like I said, I have no idea why, but I do think Mike White being back and being able to gain yardage through the air, them not allowing to be able to stack the box as much, is definitely going to help the run game. Because even when we saw when the run game was stunted with Mike White playing, him being able to complete all those passes opened it up. Because then Zonovan Knight had more holes. You saw it throughout the game. He got more yardage. It's that simple. It might have not have started off well. We might have not have been able to get anything in the beginning of the game. But by the end of the game, we were able to get a lot more, which For some reason, we have to pass to open up the run, but it's happened before with other teams. So I'm fine with it as long as it ends up working out.
Which I think is incredible that with Mike White, we have to go the Peyton Manning route, where the pass opens up the run. Did you ever think that I'd be talking about Mike White and Peyton Manning in the same sentence? Because that was quite literally. They are both Hall of Famers, but no, Peyton's not in yet. Mike White beat Peyton Manning into the Hall of Fame. But back in the heyday of the Colts, Joseph Addai was a very good running back, but he was not getting it without Peyton Manning throwing the ball first. Mm-hmm. He opened up Joseph Addai. He opened up Edgerrin James when Edgerrin James was still there on the Colts. And it's bizarre that we have a quarterback that is opening up the run game because of his ability. And you're right. With Zach Wilson, they were stacking 8 in the freaking box every time and challenging him to beat him downfield, and they couldn't. He couldn't. With Mike White, you can't put 8 in the box. That's not possible because he will beat you with that. Mm-hmm. You will lose the game by a lot of points if you just throw 8 in the box. Mm-hmm. And, this week we'll see. The corners are, the one rookie corner is very good. Woolen or whatever his name is. Woolen's good. But on the other side, Michael Johnson is not very good. Mm-hmm. He's, they give up some of the most yardage to number 2 receivers.
And I think Woolen's going to have a lot of difficulty against Garrett Wilson if you match him either way.
Yeah, well, Woolen's on the left side of the defense, and Garrett Wilson's been lining up a lot on the left side of the offense. So Garrett Wilson's going to be able to go against their number 2 corner a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Garrett Wilson's going to have a good day. Whoever goes against Johnson's probably going to have a good day. They also have a terrible linebacking core. So there's a lot of things to attack, and a lot of things that Mike White does well should really expose the Seahawks. Getting the ball out quickly to the running backs when no one's available. They're going to feast on this bad linebacking core that misses tackles. So we need to have a good game. The Jets need to go in and get a win. They need to enter into a showdown with the Dolphins in week 18 to go and, winner basically gets in the playoffs, it looks like. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be exciting, Dave. Got to win this week. Can't shit the bed. Defense needs to show the hell up this week.
Yep.
And this should be fun, Dave. I'm excited. It's only fun to be a Jets fan when Mike White's the quarterback.
Hey, man, at least it's fun. Listen, I know a lot of Jets fans are disappointed where we are right now to be needing help to get into the playoffs. How after it started this season, but this is still what we've been asking for. We've been asking for meaningful December games, games leading into the playoffs. At least be knocking on the door. Like, we should be a wild card team, especially with the way we played this year. We know we can be a playoff team. And now we just have to finish it out and get slight help. Miami better beat the goddamn Patriots.
And also, the Jets already beat Vegas. The over-under was 6. They beat Vegas a long time ago with 7 wins. Yeah. So it's a big deal to beat Vegas. If you're a gambling person, you know what I mean. Vegas is never wrong. So we're going to jump into the next topic. We're going to get a little nerdy on everyone, Dave. We're going to talk what the hell is going on with DC and Marvel. How could 2 franchises with, 2 of the most powerful franchises in the last 20 years, you have to say, DC and Marvel, are just irrelevant, Dave. They right now, I've never thought I'd actually say it. Basically, after Spider-Man No Way Home, Marvel's been irrelevant. DC, the Batman was good, but who remembers it? Nothing is memorable about any of these franchises anymore. And now DC, Dave, is trying to do a revamp. They brought in James Gunn. James Gunn agreed to, leave Marvel, go over there. I think all of us are convinced that he's just trying to destroy DC from the inside out, but we shall see.
I don't know about that.
But James Gunn is there, and Dave, James Gunn has done a lot of shit. Henry Cavill, gone. No more Superman. Arguably, probably the best Superman since Christopher Reeves. I will go to war for that. Henry Cavill's out. The Rock, after saying he wants to be the face, he wants to be DC, flat out saying he basically used Henry Cavill to come in Black Adam. Mm-hmm. Out. He's no longer Black Adam. I don't know what they're doing with Shazam. I like that movie. It was actually a good movie. Don't know what they're doing with it. I believe Gal Gadot's out as Wonder Woman.
That's not confirmed.
Not confirmed.
Wonder Woman 3 isn't happening, but
Justice League has been scrapped as we know it. James Gunn scrapped Justice League as we know it. So his direction is what he wanted to do, which isn't a bad direction if they succeed, right? They want to base the new DCEU off of the early 2000s Justice League cartoon, which was fantastic, and the Young Justice cartoon, which is also really good. He's working closely with one of the lead comic book writers from DC to kind of bring this to life. This can go one way or another, Dave. It can either be great or it can be really bad, because it is hard to create animation mediums and bring them, but even anime, but anything animated medium wise, and bring it to the big screen with success. What do you see coming out of DC right now? There hasn't been as much wokeness with DC as Marvel. It's been there, but it doesn't seem to be wokeness that's DC's problem. It just seems to be being good at making movies. Currently is their issue.
So that's why Gunn was brought in, to try to be at least good at making movies.
Because he is
at least good at direction of making movies. He's not really making all of them. He's just
but he was great at Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah,
he's going to be leading.
Yeah.
So I'm like somewhat okay with the plan. The biggest issue to me is that it is difficult, especially for fans now, and even with younger fans, because I'm going to let you know right now, a lot of them will enjoy superhero content, but they have other things to watch. So you got to be careful with this. You don't just have them captured here. It's going to be difficult to grab people if you're going to go and start off with origin stories again, because that's what he's going to do. He wants a young Superman. That's why Cavill's out. And I don't
focus on Superman the reporter.
Yes, and this is an issue, because I just think if you really wanted to grab someone, if you really wanted to make the DC cinematic universe something to actually rival what the MCU did, because it's not really doing it anymore, but what the MCU did, unfortunately, I don't think, because they got lucky with Iron Man. They did.
Yep.
So you really should be leading off with a kick-ass Superman movie. And I feel like if you started at a point where Superman was already Superman, you don't need the origin story, at least not in the first movie. Like, you don't need...
The idea of Superman Returns was great, where Superman just came back from hiatus and started doing Superman things again. It was a bad movie, but it was a good concept.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that you bring in a Superman who embodies the Superman values of hope, of justice. You need those in the movie. You need him to be Superman, but just coming in and being a somewhat seasoned Superman. Because if it was seasoned, if it was vet Superman, you'd keep Cavill. Mm-hmm. But somewhat seasoned. Don't give me Smallville. Don't give me Reporter. Nope. At least not a lot of Reporter. You can have a little bit of Reporter, a little bit of him just going under and disguised as Clark Kent. That's fine. But bring me like Superman already doing things and being virtuous and already there. Like,
people knowing who he is.
Exactly. He's already showing all of these things. And that would be a movie that really grabs someone. An origin story, I don't think, will be able to grab anyone in order to come back for any of your other movies. Because I know you said you like Shazam. How many people actually care about Shazam? Genuinely. Not many. Maybe if you played Injustice, you might like Shazam a little bit, but like that's the only reason. And the same thing with Black Adam, because Black Adam really didn't do well. I know The Rock said he wants to be the face. You're not going to be the face as Black Adam, dude. It's that, like, no one.
I heard Black Adam confused the hell out of a lot of people. The action was fun, but they didn't know if Black Adam was a good guy or a bad guy.
And that's another thing.
You don't know that Black Adam is actually the rival to Shazam, which was never set up. Then you're confused by what the hell this guy has to do with anything.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is that this is why it needs to be a Superman already being Superman. He is your hero. He is the embodiment of hope, of justice, of virtuousness. And he is just a straight hero. You know, like Batman's, you've been playing him gritty. You've been playing him almost sort of anti-hero kind of way, which is here and there at some points. But stop it. Give us the hero and you will do better
Yeah.
than Marvel. It's that simple. Give us him as a hero. Give us one good Superman movie, a singular good Superman movie, and you will kickstart the universe. And then you could try other things from there. I mean, you screwed up Wonder Woman.
Please keep the fighting from Man of Steel. The actual in-air fighting of Man of Steel was at the best that I've seen in terms of moving at a fast speed, flying. It's what Dragon Ball should be. If Dragon Ball ever becomes a movie, just do Man of Steel's fighting. And I agree with you. Just make him a superhero. And I don't even care if they rehash one of the old stories where they do bring in they bring in, people from Krypton, and they're the only ones that can fight against him, because it is difficult to make a true rival to Superman. That's part of his problem.
Yeah. And here, the thing is that you as someone who is creative should be able to know that the audience will be able to pick up context clues, will be able to pick up certain things if you just do it right, if you show and not tell, if you do these certain things. You don't need to tell us that he is explicitly Clark Kent and he's explicitly this journalist, this reporter. Like, you don't need to do that. Just show us that. Show us that he is here for justice. Show us that he is doing all these things. Like I said, you make one good Superman movie. Any other movie will not do. I'm going to tell you that right now. Almost any other character will not do it this time. Like years ago, when Iron Man came out, you could have done someone who's not as big, like Iron Man, and it would work out because it was just, trying these things, sticking around to the comics, and it worked out well, especially because RDJ was perfect Tony Stark.
Yep.
But right now, especially because I'm going to tell you, there's superhero fatigue, no doubt. Good Superman movie is your one way to get this done for DC.
And maybe James Gunn has a real idea, and I kind of trust James Gunn. He's a good, he does a good job. He did a great job with Guardians of the Galaxy. Disappointing he's not in Marvel. I'm curious where that franchise is going to go now, because it was really good glue there. They had a good storytelling, and I agree with you. A good Superman will kickstart. And God, if they don't give us Jon Stewart, I'm pissed. Because again, if you're basing it off of JLA, the animated cartoon, and trying to pull our generation back into basically yours and a lot of mine back into the superherodom, you give us Jon Stewart. You don't give us freaking Hal. Nobody knows who he is. We don't know him. That's not our Lantern. And please give us Virgil Hawkins. Please give us Status Shock. Cyborg, they tried to capitalize on the fact that Teen Titans was big. I get it. That's why you put him in there. Cyborg's not a member of the Justice League, okay? Nobody cares about Cyborg. Cyborg is fine in Young Justice. If you want to bring him in, that fine. I didn't care about Ray Fisher being him. I thought he kind of sucked too. I didn't think he was a great, guy for Cyborg. You want to do something, if you do want to lean into any wokeness at all, if that's a part of your goal, you have ready-made characters that are beloved. And if you really want to lean into it, Virgil Hawkins is the perfect guy. Perfect guy. His whole thing was fighting in his own city to clean it the hell up. That's all he was, just trying to make sure his area is good. Now, you can extend him, and Static Shock's freaking awesome. His powers are amazing. He'd be great on the big screen. But set it up with Superman, and then you could jump in if you want to do something like that. But yeah, I agree with you. They have to stop doing origin stories. They really do. Like Batman, I admit, I didn't see the Batman. I should, but I didn't. I heard it was pretty good. I'm actually really tired of origin stories. I know Batman's origin. He's vengeance. He's a knight. He's Batman. That's it. He hates everyone. He doesn't kill people, but he makes sure they pay for their crimes. That's Batman. Everybody knows Batman. You don't need to tell it. You don't. You don't need to tell Superman. Superman, alien, came to Earth because, Krypton was blowing up. The yellow sun makes him superpowered. Picked up by his, adopted mother and father, yada, 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 yada. We don't need to know this anymore. If you don't know who Superman is, that's your freaking fault. Pick up a comic book. But I agree with you. At least do the truncated version. If you just want to do the truncated, here's a quick 15 minutes. Here he is. This happened. Now he's this man, and he's teen, and boom, now he's Superman. Now he works as Clark Kent. He's a journalist, but he's also Superman. Let's go. I'm okay with that, Dave. I'm okay if you do 20 minutes in the beginning of the movie to do a very quick version of it, if you really need to. But don't spend half the movie on an origin story. It'll be bad. Yeah. It'll be real bad.
Yeah, because it just gets boring.
So on the flip side, Marvel is a mess. What's Marvel doing? It just got announced that Tom Holland's Spider-Man 4 has been greenlit. It's great. He might be the only thing going for Marvel right now. He really is. And they're wasting a really good Spider-Man. Because Tom Holland is a really good Spider-Man. He's nerdy enough. He looks like a dork, and that's believable. Peter Parker's a nerd. He's not necessarily the egghead that Peter Parker's supposed to be, but he does a good enough job with what he is and how he is. And he's quirky. He's funny. But what's going on? They officially ended the Avengers. They said the Avengers is done. They're not bringing that back.
Yes.
Where, are we going? So what's going on? Are we going with Captain America as, the Falcon Captain America? Is Anthony Mackie's Captain America going to do anything? You gave us a TV show. Oh, is he going to do anything? Where does anybody fit in? Hawkeye's officially dead. You made the show for no reason now. If the Avengers are done, he's officially done. You're bringing back X-Men. You might change the name from X-Men to take men out of it. Like, are you trying to not be successful? Like, Marvel's fallen to wokeism heavily, and that's been their downfall, Dave. What the hell are they doing? Is there a direction right now?
So I think for all those that watch Nerdrotic, he actually put it best, a throwaway joke that has now become basically what is printable as what Marvel is, especially Phase 4, which is the MCU.
They ended Phase 4 apparently and are jumping right into Phase 5.
Phase 4 is done. They're going into Phase 5, and that's probably not going to be good either. Mainly because they are trying to push characters without writing them well. That's all they're really trying to do. They're trying to push people that are specifically not straight white men. And if they are straight white men, they're usually surrounded by people that aren't straight white men. And they want these other characters to try to be beloved without actually writing them in any sort of way that people will genuinely like them. At least a majority of people will like them. I'm sure a minority of people might, but a majority don't really care. Especially because you have lost all mystique in your movies. Now, if you go back, I know I brought up Iron Man a lot, but if you go back to those original movies that really kicked off the MCU, you will find a different tone in almost every movie.
Yeah.
Almost every movie has a different tone because they're different characters. Now, go and watch a Marvel movie and tell me there's a different tone. Because you'd be lying if you were. There is no different tone. They are all comic relief. It's actually embarrassing how every single character is basically.
There's nothing relief. Serious. The threats don't feel
exactly.
Serious.
The threats are never really serious. Sure. Oh my goodness. Oh, a person died, but yet they still kind of make a joke of it. Like nothing is ever actually serious in Marvel anymore, and nothing seems to matter. It's almost like the way Dragon Ball Z is painted, except at least that's.
And there's still good, at least there's still good storytelling in Dragon Ball Super.
Exactly. And so that's the biggest issue with Marvel right now is they are pushing characters just for the sake of what they presume is diversity, and they are not writing them well. And then also writing everyone the exact same, because everyone is just funny. Everyone gets these one-liners. No one likes these fucking jokes anymore. Not a singular person actually likes these fucking jokes anymore. You can act like you like these jokes, but that's because you're dead inside. It's that simple. You are actually fucking dead inside if you like these jokes anymore. There might be a couple quips that are like not bad, but most of them are just like, oh my God, just like, be a fucking superhero. Like, why are you just a regular person? Why are you just this person that likes to make jokes all the time? Yeah. Why can't you just be anything fucking different? Why can't you be an actual person? It's so weird.
I am curious because they did say that they want to make a movie with Donald Glover as the center, and it's like, I don't know what they're going to do with him, but he's a villain.
Yes,
he's a villain. And I don't mind. Donald Glover's a good actor. I feel like he'd be a good serious actor, but there's no point.
There is no point. And no one
like,
knows that character.
And
no one's going to care.
They obviously denied Chris Hemsworth's request, saying he would bring Thor back if they finished his arc. Which, again, they made Thor a joke.
He also doesn't want to work with Taika Waititi. No. He doesn't like Taika Waititi. And guess what Taika Waititi does? Write everyone as if there's some jokey character.
Taika Waititi's been awful. And Kevin Feige's not much better. Kevin Feige needs to go
he's
too.
terrible.
He's been awful. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's the reason why James Gunn left, because he didn't want
James
to work
Gunn
with
left
these people.
because they didn't have his back in the first place.
And
That's why
you
he
know,
left.
yeah, and I don't blame him.
But it's just and yes, wokeness is definitely involved, 100% involved.
Yeah,
but that compounds onto the fact that it's a bunch of people that are either not fans of these characters at all or just do not know how to write anything. Like literally fucking anything. And it's embarrassing to watch what they put on screen sometimes. Because honestly, I don't really watch any Marvel movies anymore. I don't watch really much of anything anymore. I'm not going to lie to you. But I've seen clips, and that's all I need to see. I'm sorry to tell you this. Context be damned. All I need to see are clips of some of these lines that these people throw out, and it's not good. It is straight up not good.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy them, that's fine. You can enjoy them. I'm still going to say they're bad. I don't care because I think they're bad. So while I'll let you enjoy that thing, you got to let me hate the thing. It's a give and take here. So, but I don't know. Marvel is on a free fall. Hall of Disney is on a free fall really right now. It's been pretty bad for them. So we'll see what happens. It really seems like they're just going to stick to what they're doing, even though they don't seem to have a plan at all. And they're just going to keep hiring people that don't care about these comics, the people that don't care about these heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I believe the worst thing that they've done is She-Hulk, and that's not a movie, but that is a series. She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Everyone on that writing team deserves to be fired. It's not She-Hulk. It's embarrassing.
And the issue with She-Hulk is it was ready made to kind of fit what they were trying to do, because She-Hulk has always had that quirkiness to her. She-Hulk did break the fourth wall. She-Hulk was a more comic relief character. When she needed to be serious, she was serious. She was a good member.
You have to be competent to bring that to a screen.
That was part of it, but they weren't good at doing it. And it was ready made for what they wanted to do, but they weren't talented enough to bring that out. And it's unfortunate that, and She-Hulk was a pretty beloved character in the Marvel universe before this, and it's just a joke. And so, I'm not very curious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not curious where this goes. I almost don't care because my childhood has been screwed.
I wouldn't mind seeing it fall. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty funny.
It is pretty funny. But speaking, I just want to give a shout out. Rippaverse, Eric July, the ISOM character, the number one came out. They're working on more. Go buy it. Go support him. You want good comics? Go get that. He's promised no multiverse. He's promised no time travel. He said he's just going to write stories. They're going to have an arc. They're going to be linear. They're not going to be this nonsense of revival crap. So they're going to and he has people there, and just to give him some credit, it's not like they're scrubs going to write for him. These are former DC Marvel people that are tired of the shit that they were forced to do, or things that they weren't allowed to write, or things like that. So they're legit illustrators, legit comic book writers, similar to what Image and Dark Horse did, where they broke off as they were Marvel DC people as well. So go give that a read. Go support Rippaverse. Go on there and get away from DC Marvel. And if all else fails, go read some manga, because it's still so much better than anything Americans are putting out.
Which is unfortunate, man. It's really unfortunate.
They're making a new Avatar, Dave.
I saw that. I don't know if I like that.
They're making a new Avatar. Well, Legend of Korra was bad, so we'll see if they can...
I've heard mixed things about Korra.
I've heard it was throwaway. I heard it was just throwaway. Like, whatever was good, it was whatever, but it was just kind of a throwaway. Like, it wasn't very interesting. No one wants to see the breed of Aang coming to do the same exact thing. Like, it was essentially, there was nothing special.
I feel like Avatar, The Last Airbender, not the James Cameron movie, really caught lightning in a bottle with the way that their show planned itself out, and the way it all came together
was incredible.
It's arguably one of the greatest cartoons of all time.
It's the best American anime. It's an American anime. It is an anime from America. That and Samurai Jack are two best American animes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that you can enjoy that at any time.
Yes.
is that good.
It's a timeless show.
And that's also part of the issue of making any sequels to it, like Korra or like this third part. We don't really need this.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, we don't need this. There is no need for this, even though I know people like to keep getting more and more from the universes and the worlds they like. But most of the time, especially if it's that good in the start, it's not going to hit that point ever again.
The only way I feel like this Avatar, and we're going off on a tangent here, but the only way I feel like this could be successful is if it has nothing to do with Aang, with Korra, with any of the original group. That this is somebody completely different. Now, if they walk the path of becoming an avatar, that's fine, but it will be their path on their own. We don't need it to be related in any way to any of the former characters. Let it be in that universe, but let it be something new, go in a different direction. Let it feel like the Avatar
universe. There's machine guns and shit.
No, you dumbass. But let it feel like the Avatar universe without having to constantly call back to memories.
Yeah.
So
it's difficult, and I didn't watch. I'd maybe watch like 2 episodes of Korra, not because I fell out of love with it or anything like that. Like I said, I'm just bad at keeping up with things for the most part.
I had no interest in episode of Korra. I really didn't. I was so fulfilled and happy with the way Avatar ended that they tied a bow around every main character's arc. Like Zuko got to finish. Iroh got his arc. Aang became the Avatar, Katara, Sokka, like they all had everyone in there, Toph, everyone that you knew all got good endings, the endings they deserved. And it wasn't, and I like that there was nothing thrown in there to kind of be like, oh, but this one was sad. No, the heroes won. They were successful. They were rewarded. It was just good. It was good. And I don't have high hopes. Just like I don't have high hopes for the Yu Yu Hakusho live action. But I digress. We could do a whole other podcast on that. But, Dave, I think we have to end this one.
Yes, we do. Before we go off on another tangent.
We could, and we could just go nerdy. Like maybe next time we'll just do a full-on nerd show and do one of those. Who knows? But any last words, sucker?
So Alice in Borderlands Netflix season 2 came out. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard very good things. So that's good. I highly recommend reading the manga if you can. It is fantastic. The Netflix show has done pretty well, especially for the last arc in season 1. Like I said, I've heard very good things for season 2. So I'm already happy with it. I'm happy that they've done good enough that people enjoy it.
I'll say this, read the manga. I've had some people that watch season 2 and they said it's gone a little too off the rails for them because it's getting heavy into it's getting a lot heavier. It's getting a lot more psycho.
I saw the Queen of Hearts kind of in the teaser for it.
Queen of Hearts thing. It's getting very deep at this point. So I recommend reading the manga.
Yes.
First.
Yes.
So then you can compare it because if it's brought to screen properly, it's going to be a mindfuck. So yes. That's kind of where we are there. So yeah, I recommend definitely go do that. My last words are no last words. We got to get out of here. We've been yip yapping for a lot. We'll hopefully have a guest back on next week, so you don't have to sit through this torture again. But everyone, thanks for listening. Go give us a like, share, follow. You know what it is. Spread this word of mouth. Go find us on socials at the Alex Cuesta Show. We'll be back next week with some more. So long, everybody.